A dispatch from the front. Lysa, are you there?
I'm here.
Lysa.
Lysa, you're the best.
How do I win this bike? This is so exciting.
Well, you have to stay tuned to the end of the broadcast. We're going to tell you how you can win one.
Perfect.
But you can come to Montana and ride mine anytime you want.
Well, that would be quite the spectacle, you know?
Yes.
But, hey, you know, I've always joked, if life falls apart and seems like it cannot be repaired, that I'm going to move to Montana and become a waitress. That's been like my running go-to thing forever in my life. So, there's still hope, guys, that I'll show up in Montana one day.
Well, you have shown up in Montana one day, and it was a great day.
Yes.
And you preached the heck out of our church. I don't know. Maybe you preached the heaven into our church.
The hell out of our church?
You preached the hell out of our church.
It's so good to hear your voice, Lysa.
Oh, it's so good to just be with you guys on this fantastic, amazing day. I am so excited about this book. I just posted on Instagram about it like 5 seconds ago, and already like thousands of people are liking it and excited about it. And I texted Levi earlier today because my husband has been getting up at crazy hours the past couple of days reading I Declare War. He's devouring the book.
Wow.
He even brought it to a family gathering last night and read parts of the book out loud to us. And if you know what we've been through the past couple of years, you know just how amazing and miraculous it is. I feel like I helped pray this book into existence because it's exactly what I wanted for my family to read. And Levi, I could not be more excited and more thankful.
Wow,
Oh,
that's
gosh,
beautiful.
Lysa,
Gosh, thanks for sharing
Well,
that.
I'm going to have to compose myself. Like I told you when you texted me that, nothing means more than that. And you know, as a writer and as a brilliant writer as you are, when someone is encouraged by it, it makes all the difficult, lonely moments of writing worthwhile, that it helps somebody out in their journey. And if God can use some of our dysfunction to get through the difficulties, then it's not in vain. And that's where I think where America and the world has fallen in love with what comes out of your pen. For everybody watching, Lysa's the best-selling author of over 20 books. New York Times and her are BFFs, and she has to be released this November. It's Not Supposed to Be This Way. Finding Strength When Disappointments Leave You Shattered. We have the artwork on the screen, and the cover, Lysa, is phenomenal. This upside down juxtaposed woman who's looking up, but it's down, and it's down, but it's up. And that is indeed how your life has felt, and that's where you, the honest, vulnerable place you wrote from in this book.
That's right. And, I think for me, knowing you were writing your book at the same time, basically our paths on this book writing journey have been so similar, and our release dates are so close together. I feel like anybody that reads my book is going to need to read I Declare War. And then I think anybody who's reading I Declare War could easily follow it up with It's Not Supposed to Be This Way, because while the messages point in the same direction, they attack the loneliness and the anxiety and the fear from different directions and different vantage points. And so I think these two messages tie together so well. And I'm so pumped because we're going to be on tour next year together.
Yes.
And
That's
so the
right.
books will literally be put right beside each other.
I know.
Out in the,
Can we put on the
lobby. So
screen?
perfect.
Can we put on the screen the tour list, just so anybody watching can see if we're coming anywhere near them? Lysa and I are speaking together on a tour that's called the Encounter Tour, and it's going to be Lysa, myself, and Mac Brock, and we'll be in, I think, 13 cities. I think we have the roster to put up on the. We'll work on that, encountertour.com. If you want to find where we're at, there's some VIP tickets you can get that will allow you to be a part of a Q&A that we'll do before the nights begin. I've got so much expectation.
Yes.
First of all, to go on tour with you, there's the thing, but let's zoom in on the tour dates so we can get the list of cities. And each night, of course, you'll be speaking out of It's Not Supposed to Be This Way, and I'll be talking from I Declare War, and then Mac, the music. I think these nights are going to be really some breakthrough nights for people.
I believe it too.
I agree. I think the only regret people will have is they didn't bring more of their friends. I think they'll sit there and think, oh, man, I really should have brought this friend, that friend. So whatever person in your life that you know needs to encounter God, or that you want to encounter together, just encounter the fresh presence of God. This is going to be a very unique evening. It's going to be a dynamic evening. It'll definitely be something you'll talk about for a long time.
That's right. So that's encountertour.com, and we hope to see you in one of these cities above. Did you do your recording yet? Oh, there's the list right there. So we got a lot of different places,
Wow.
a lot of places. But yeah, so we'll hope to see you. I'm not going to say all those.
That's
I was
more than
going
13.
No, that's something else too. I think there's more than one thing, but the ones we're on together, there's 13, and we hope to see you, Adam. But Lysa, when I wrote the book, and I have to just publicly tell the world how much I'm indebted to you and to your team at Proverbs 31 for your help in the manuscript, not only because of the way you've spoken life to Jenny and I, and as an author, you've encouraged me. I remember sitting at Tupelo one night and, saying something about how I'm not as good of a writer, blah, blah, and you just literally stopped me in my tracks like a mom can, and you said, take that thought captive. And it was like and I think of that all the time, where I might be saying something that is like, oh, this isn't going to be very good. And literally, I almost hear like the Holy Spirit sounds a lot like Lysa TerKeurst, and it's take that thought captive. and I'm so grateful for that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. And I think you just told the world I'm probably technically old enough to be your mom. So there we have that.
Okay. No. What I meant is, once a mom, always a mom. You spoke to me the way only a mom can.
Yes, exactly.
You've wrangled a toddler or two in your day. Although I did see I have to call out your daughter Hope, because I noticed when you posted about the book, or you tagged her in the giveaway we're doing for the AirPods on my Instagram, and she wrote, at Lysa TerKeurst, oh, Mom, I want to borrow that book when you're done with it. And I wanted to scold her, one author to another, don't you dare pass that book around. You buy it yourself, young lady.
I know, exactly. It's called Amazon.com right now.
It's $9.99, lady. Louis Gigley and I were joking about how we think more and more people pass books around as opposed to just, but I know obviously that's fine if you can't afford it, but at the end of the day, I think you're going to always put a better value on something that you've actually had to put something into.
Well, plus this one is like, it's so personal. Like you're writing things in there like a journal, like the things that are holding me back, and I declare war on this day. Like it's so personal. You
might say that it's compelling.
Exactly.
It's compelling how we've put that together.
Why. Yeah, and that's probably why my daughter wants to borrow my copy, so she can have privy information of all the dysfunction I admit to in the book,
She wants to read your declaration of war so she can know your bad laundry.
That's right. But, yeah, I think I'm going to get copies of this book for my kids. Honestly, in all seriousness, I really, really think this is the book that if you were thinking about sticking a book in your kids' stocking for Christmas, if you've got teenagers, young adults, grown kids, this is that book to stick in their stocking. It is the perfect book for someone to go through as they're starting the new year. I think I Declare War is such a great 2019 declarative statement.
Amen.
Start the year off right. And really, I think it's great for families with older kids to do this book together. Like each have your own copy, come together and talk about it. And that's what my family did yesterday. Literally, we were having a conflict, and that's when Art brought your book and started reading from the book in the midst of the family conflict. And he was like, we're going to declare war, but we're not going to declare war against each other. We're going to declare war against the real enemy. It was so powerful. I'm telling you, if you could have had your video crew there, I mean, we could have sold some books yesterday. It was amazing. So
Lysa,
I was so excited when you invited me here, because that's why I just wanted to tell the world about how much it's already helping me and my family.
Well, that means so much. And Flea and everybody at the team there at Proverbs 31 all had a hand in helping.
I got the book. Listen, the minute I got the book, I called Leah and said, Flea has made it in print. It is quite the day.
She exists in the acknowledgments. So if you read the acknowledgments at the end, you'll see a reference to Flea. And honestly, that was too small of how much it means to me that you guys helped us. And I wanted to say in the book, when you read I Declare War, you'll actually read an excerpt. Oh, look, there's a picture from us that day. Oh, how fun. There was the whole thing on the board. Look at my beardless face.
Whoa.
Yep.
You're a different man.
Okay, so when people read I Declare War, they're going to read an excerpt from It's Not Supposed to Be This Way. So it's not just one should lead to the other. They'll actually get part of your book in mind before yours is out. So they'll want to pre-order it as soon as they get to that page. But Lysa, that excerpt about, talk about that part where you speak to our culture's need to be genuine and be ourselves and be real. And so that keeps us from doing things we're supposed to do because I need to be real. Talk about that.
Well, I think being real, first of all, I think it's important to state there's a big difference between between privacy and secrecy. Secrecy is when we're keeping our vulnerabilities hidden because we want bad behaviors to continue. So that's not what we want. We don't want secrecy, but we do need to hold on to privacy. And privacy means I can be real and raw and honest and vulnerable with the world, but I don't have to share every detail. I can keep some details hidden, but privacy is for the sake of healing. Wow. And so, I think that sometimes people resist being vulnerable because they think they have to share every detail about all of their crazy stuff, and that's not true. Being vulnerable means being human, and I've had to make peace with the fact that I will never be anything more than human on this side of eternity. But through my tears, I can look at other people and I know they would drown in their own tears if not for me sharing my tears vulnerably. Yes. And so I just want to give people permission. Think about vulnerability in the way that it's okay to keep some of the details private, but the reality of what you're walking through, the Bible tells us, mourn with those who mourn, weep with those who weep, rejoice with those who rejoice, and we'll never get the high of rejoicing together if we don't understand the bonding that can happen when we weep together.
Whoa. Amen. Gosh, that's beautiful.
And the line is, I want to find this because I want to read your exact words. Do we have that quote? The being true to your whole, healed, and healthy self. Mm-hmm. That's what you say.
Yeah, because a lot of people, I can quote it for you. A lot of people say, I've got to be true to myself. And I'm all about that. Yeah, man, let's be true to ourselves. That's good. I get what you're saying. But let's just make sure we're being true to our most healed, healthy, and whole selves. Because if we're true to our broken selves, then that's going to take us down some really whacked out paths that we don't want to go to.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah. So that I think that is one of the words for our day because in this, I think it's a good thing that we're wanting to be so real and so unvarnished because of, this everything's fake on Instagram. But I think what it leads to is this thing where we don't do anything that we don't do anything we don't want to do because we can just throw up that's not my truth. That's not how I feel. That's not being true to me. That's not my heart. And I think what you're saying is, yes, there's a place for that. And let's reject the curated fake life. But let's also remember that we've been given a brand new identity and who we used to be died. And that we had a funeral for that version. And Jesus has given us a resurrection power to tap into day by day.
Absolutely. And, if we want to be real thought leaders in our day and our generation, we've got to learn to lead our own thoughts first. And we better make sure we know who's leading us so we can properly lead our thoughts. And, I think that's part of the power of what you've given people in this message, I Declare War, because not every thought needs to be parked on. Not every thought needs to be invited in and coddled. And not every thought needs to be a permanent roommate in our life. Right. I think that a big part of declaring war against the things that have no place in our life, a big part of that is our thought life. And I think you do a brilliant job in the book. And I love how honest you are too, Levi. You even deal with moodiness, and I think sometimes moodiness can be one of those things that sneaks in. It's it's not really sinning, but it sure isn't living the abundant life. And I'm telling you, if you're in a family, that kind of just a moody dysfunction can be so distracting to an amazing family life. And I love the fact that you go there with all levels. I mean, you get down in the dirt about thoughts of suicide, but then you swing it back up to moodiness, but it's the full gamut. I mean, it's the full gamut we've got to deal with. And leading our own thoughts will enable us to be thought leaders. And I think your book is going to help people with that so much.
Oh, thank you. Gosh. Now, when you go into the trenches writing, because obviously, November 14th is the release date for It's Not Supposed to Be This Way, so you're at the home stretch. But when it comes to your actual going down into the trenches to begin one, what are some of the keys to be at your best self and winning that war within, to go into your frame of mind for your writing days? I know you have a retreat cabin type place you go to. What are some of those few principles that could, be transferable to anybody who wants to undertake an endeavor?
Well, first of all, I always ask myself the question, what is a problem that I'm having, or what is a question that I'm asking that I keep tripping over in my everyday life? And it doesn't have to be big, it doesn't have to be epic, but it just needs to be something that I can tell I need to attend to this. And then I start kind of seeding social media with some of those thoughts, with some of those struggles, with some of those questions, with some just different, the same theme of what I'm wrestling through. And for me, the writing process always starts with understanding where my felt need, which is the best definition of a felt need, is a question you're asking or a problem you're having. Where does my felt need intersect with someone else's felt need? And then I spend about 6 months listening before I write. And I really listen. How do other people talk about this? And listen to the way that people really struggle with this. Because I think if we write too quickly, we'll miss out because we'll be so limited with our own perspective.
Wow.
And I think having a well-rounded perspective of other people and how they really deal with the felt needs, not hovering at 30,000 feet like up in the theory world, but where are people really tripping over this in their everyday life?
Wow. Golly.
That's so good. And I want everybody who's out there who's ever felt disappointed, disillusioned, maybe right now there's a mom out there and you're frustrated because you had to walk away from a career to raise your kids. You weren't expecting to get pregnant, or maybe, divorce, or maybe death, or whatever you've gone through that's disappointing. And Lysa just put out, I saw today, a resource of 12 scriptural truths that you could declare over your disappointments. And so if you go to her Instagram within the next 24 hours, that will be on a swipe up she posted. And I think little things like that, having a statement to say over it, because really in those crisis moments when you're really having a down moment, and maybe it's suicidal thoughts, or maybe it's just, you're in a self-destructive relationship that you keep coming back to. I think it's a concordance is no good. You're going to fumble with the Bible. You need in that moment. You need to have preloaded some ammo to be able to fire into the darkness like a flare.
Amen.
And so what I love about you is you're always giving such good handles that people can. It's not the sniper rifle for the enemy. You're putting people in people's hands the little shank knife, the sharpened up toothbrush, handle that they can stab darkness in the neck when they need to.
Come on.
So
so good.
Is that usually how people just talk about Proverbs 31 stuff? The shiv?
All the time, Levi. All the time.
Come on. It was hand-to-hand combat. Really, I think people see us on a platform, but they don't know what it takes to get up here and do this. And so I think what you do, and I would just encourage everybody to go grab that resource. 12. It's free, too. Thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, yeah, my passion is to make God's word.
Oh, we have it on the screen. Fighting the Lies of the Enemy. 12 Scriptural Truths to Declare Over Your Disappointments by Lysa TerKeurst. You make sure you grab that before the 24 hours expires, or you'll miss out.
Well, and you know what? The other thing that I want to get back to your book, Levi, because I think it's so important. The other thing that I love about your book is you are so brilliant at the way that you put together sentences that people are thinking, so that at the minute that somebody thinks a sentence, you give the response of exactly what we're supposed to say, exactly how we're supposed to declare war. And I love it. So whether it's the practical downloadable that you just mentioned that I do, or whether you're giving people, say this, literally the script to give to people, I think that's the essence of a book that's both inspirational and instructional, but best of all, it's practical. And, I always say inspiration can take people in their imagination to great places, but it's the practical application that will change their everyday life. And that's what your book is so rich with. And I am so thankful. So, yeah, giving people those really practical tools, it's almost like a quick survival kit, which, by the way, I got the survival kit you sent me That was brilliant. I now have the life straw and the survival kit. I'm telling you, if I ever get in trouble, it's going to be Levi and Jenny Lusko saving the day for Lysa TerKeurst.
And you're not, I'm doing air quotes now, you're not brass knuckles that you can have for when the apocalypse comes. You'll punch some zombie in the head with it. Well, Lysa, I can't wait till we get to go on tour together, and give our love to Art and to Hope and everybody, the whole clan, and everybody at Proverbs 31. Give them a hug for us, from us.
We're so thankful for you, Lysa.
Thank you. Thank you. Major high fives to you guys today. Thank you for this book. It's amazing.
Thanks for joining us.
All right,
we
have
love
a
you.
great day. Hey, thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure you click subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the good things that are coming. Appreciate you taking the time to visit me here on YouTube. Have a great day.